What's up, guys? Coach Chris with the Silverback podcast. And today I have the honor of having Mia Austreng. That's how you say it?
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, Mia is our weightlifting coach here at the facility. So welcome to the podcast, Mia.
Thanks. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah.
Although slightly offended that I'm number 3.
Number 3. It just flowed like that. It was just more like, yeah. Well, Marcus was leaving, so we had to grab him before he left.
Well, Marcus is the favorite, so that's okay.
He's your favorite at least. Nah, I love Marcus. Marcus is the man. And Cole was just like, hey, yeah, he was here in the facility. I was like, all right, I got to do one. I'm running behind, so.
We love coleslaw too.
Today we got more time, so we're gonna just go ahead and do this, and we shoot from the hips here. There's no game plan.
No plan.
Obviously, because me and Mia are the coaches here, we're gonna talk about coaching today and the many things that entail in coaching for us.
We love coaching.
But
Yes.
yeah, I think that's very true, and I think if it wasn't for that, we wouldn't even know each other.
No, we wouldn't.
Because I don't CrossFit.
And I don't play baseball.
Yeah, so no, the world of training has brought us together.
There you go.
So.
Shout out Dr. Austin.
That's right.
For bringing us together. That was super random too.
It really was. I told Austin I was praying for a long time to send me the right person.
Yeah.
I think God answered my questions, and so did Austin.
There you go.
So, well, yeah. So we happy to have you. How long has it been already? I lost track.
That I've been here?
Yeah.
I think almost a year.
It's close.
It'll be a year in February, I think. Either February or March.
Yeah, I have no clue. She'll be better off at telling you.
February, yeah. 1 year in February. We should have a party.
I'm with it.
With cupcakes.
I'm with all the parties.
Cookies and stuff.
Yeah. Well, so here there's no little kids today, so we can say whatever we want.
Oh, yeah. Cookies and shit.
Yeah. So you get the raw deal with us.
Oh, boy.
Cool. So
strap in, boys and girls.
That's right. It's gonna be a fun one. Probably. I don't know if you want your kids to listen to this
You
one.
probably don't.
But
we have a New York hood rat and a DC hood rat.
That's
sitting in
right.
front of you.
We got all the rats today.
All the hood rats. Yeah.
But all right. So obviously you've been coaching for a while, a lot longer than we know each other.
Yes.
And you're over at what is it, CrossFit Catalysm?
Crawfish.
No. Catalysm CrossFit.
CrossFit Cataclysm.
Oh, there you go. See,
Yep.
I was all messed up.
Harker Heights, best CrossFit gym in all of Texas.
Heard you.
Yep.
How long you been there? And I guess how did that start?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so the affiliate, so the year that my boss Josh actually signed with CrossFit to be an affiliate, we are coming up on our 10-year anniversary in March. And I am coming, actually my CrossFit anniversary, so the year that I started doing CrossFit, my anniversary is coming up in March too, and I think I'll be on 7 or 8 years of, I don't necessarily call myself a CrossFitter, but of doing CrossFit. And I have been coaching for 6 years.
It flies.
Yes, it sure does.
It definitely does, especially when you're busy with a bunch of knuckleheads.
Yeah.
So
all the knuckleheads here.
now you predominantly deal with adults over there,
Yes.
and over here I brought you into the dark side.
You did.
I brought you into the
You
youngins.
did. I was very hesitant
Yeah.
at first.
We were clear about it, you know.
Yeah.
I obviously there's different challenges with dealing with both groups. I guess the adults and the kids.
Yeah.
And we'll probably touch on that in this one.
Yeah.
But
Well, agree and disagree, actually. I think that kids and adults are very similar in the gym setting, but you have to be a little bit nicer with the kids.
of
and a
course,
little bit more
yeah.
filtered with the kids.
100%.
Yeah, very filtered with the kids.
Yeah.
I check myself every time before I open my mouth here. Or
I mean, it's necessary, especially because we have some really young kids here. And with the high school ones, no. The high school ones, we letting them have it. Like, it is what it is. You're not a baby no more.
No.
I
High
think,
school kids get treated like adults.
I mean, they want to act like them, so why not? Like, they want to act like they're adults and they're grown, so me and Mia let them have it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the way we roll over here, too. We're not here to babysit your boys.
No.
Or your girls or nothing.
No.
So you come to do something, you come to work, and that's what we expect from them. But yeah, I definitely, I've dabbled a little bit into the adults, but I don't know. It's just the kids are easier for me. I think.
I think the kids are a lot more rewarding too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think with the adults is like life gets in the way real fast.
Yeah.
Um,
And
nobody wants to hold no adult's hands either. Like, hey, let's go, come on, you can do it. I think with a kid, I'm more likely to be like give them a little bit more of a push.
Yeah.
Than I would with an adult.
Well,
But,
there's a lot of hand holding with adults too.
Yeah.
And that's I will not retract my prior statement, but I'm not saying that working with adults is not rewarding, but there's just something about like the way that a kid reacts when they figure something out, or like when they pee or something. There's just something a lot more.
It's the innocence, and it's that
touching with that.
Yeah, it's that first time thing for them. I think. Like, it's the first time I did this, and coach me and help me.
Yeah, or like when you see that they love something, right? So like when you send the little kids over to me, and they squat a barbell for the first time, and then they come running back to me the next time I'm here, and they're like, Mia, I'm working with you today, and they're like genuinely so excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, because you gotta really think about their entire life they watch everybody else do it, and it's like, hey, it's my turn to do it now, and they get that feeling of accomplishment. It's cool.
Yeah,
there's no better way. I love it. If it wasn't for, like I said in the last ones, that right there is more rewarding than getting paid. I think sometimes.
There you go.
But and if that fuels you, you'll be alright. Because if it was because of the money, I don't know.
This ain't it.
It wouldn't be it.
If you want to be rich, don't be a coach.
Yeah, not at all. But okay.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The boys are cool. The boys are cool.
I do enjoy them.
Yeah.
They annoy the shit out of me, but I love them.
I think you've gotten to love dealing with the younger ones a little bit, especially more since the beginning. Like in the beginning, it was like, I don't know, I'm gonna give it a try, Chris, and now it's like, yeah. And obviously, I think as every coach has their favorites, and especially at every age, there's gonna be your favorites, and you try not to show it, but
I know. Now they ask me every week, Mia, who's your favorite?
Yeah. Well, it's cool because yeah. So we have. Mia doesn't really deal with the younger ones, so you're gonna deal with most of your boys are like 10 and up in here. 10, you might get some 9s, but yeah, I gotta deal with the knuckleheads.
How old is Logan?
Logan's 13.
How old is Rucker? And where has Rucker been?
Rucker's also 13. He'll be here soon.
Okay, so those are the ones that I consider like the young ones.
Yeah, well, those are the boys that are also like starting to live and
Yeah.
starting to get into that. I think like the 9 and the 10s are really hard in the sense of they still babies. They want to have fun, and you're not necessarily a speed coach or
no.
You're more of you really love weightlifting.
I love strength and power development.
So we can't do that with the younger ones too early. So, but yeah, okay.
Yeah.
What I guess now that you've been on the baseball side of it, how do you feel about that in terms of like what you do? Because you see the boys pitch.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you can see the relationship in with.
I do.
Like what you do with them there.
Yeah. No. Everything that I use here for their workouts comes from things that I have used in weightlifting. I don't think that there's anything that I have them do that is very like specific to baseball, but something that I do tell them all the time too is like you can I don't know jack about baseball, but you can show me something like a movement, pitching, whatever, pushing off of the mound with your foot, anything like that, and I can tell you how getting strong, developing power from the hip, from the legs, mobilizing your shoulders, just stuff like that, everything that we do in weightlifting to get stronger and stay healthy will translate over into baseball and make them better. Whether or not they listen,
that's a whole different story.
We could do an entirely different episode on whether
kids,
or not the kids
listening
listen.
or not.
But that's something that I have enjoyed learning myself too, right?
Yeah.
Like watching them when they're out there and then seeing like, oh, okay, so like speed squats will be really good for this type of movement, or this type of mobility for their shoulders is really going to help them like stay healthy if they're a pitcher or something like that.
Yeah, I think when we bridge that gap of like from well, for me at least, because I've done a little bit of both sides, but obviously my specialty is gonna be the baseball mechanical side.
I've seen your weightlifting, Chris.
Yeah. But that's why you're here. Honestly, that's exactly why you're here. There is a light bulb for us as coaches, and I guess like a little boost when you realize that, like, oh yeah, I see them doing that, and I can teach them this because I understood that or saw that, and that kind of motivates you to like, okay, I can. It gives you fuel to, because you have expectations to what you can teach them now.
Yeah.
Like and when you have that, I'm not gonna say it makes your job easier, but it gives you something to look forward to teach them new.
Yeah.
And that just that I don't know how to even explain it.
Well, coming out of your bubble too, right? Like out of your coaching bubble, and experiencing different athletes in different sports, is great for you as far as developing yourself as a coach, right?
Yeah.
Because now you're not only seeing the one side of weightlifting or the one side of baseball. Now you're seeing how baseball can carry over to weightlifting. Weightlifting can carry over to baseball, or whatever sport you're coaching or you have your kids in. There's always going to be some type of benefit that will carry over.
Especially with weightlifting. Now, when we say weightlifting, for those out there, we're not talking about just bench and things like that. We're talking
about bros.
Yeah, we're not talking about like, hey,
which has its place.
Yeah, there's a time and a place for everything, but we got to remember as baseball players, we're explosive. Everything should be fast, and we're talking Olympic lifts. We're talking throwing weight around in a safe manner, but in an explosive manner. And I think that's what you specialize in. If not, we would have never had you. Get out of here.
It is.
But no, we really enjoy having you here. And the little boss, little Julian, loves it too. So he gets excited when Mia walks in the door.
I do love Julian.
Well,
he's
yeah,
a maniac.
He's cool. He's a cool little dude.
He's a crazy little thing.
Yeah, but yeah.
And I still can't figure out who he gets it from.
I don't know either. but yeah, okay. So far since you've been here, what do you think has been one of the coolest moments?
Probably. Well, we talked about this already. Like having the little kids be so excited to see me walk in the door.
Yeah, I think they really, really like, especially lately.
Yeah.
They've been really like super excited to when they see you.
Yeah. That's
especially, I think Logan is definitely, but Logan is more like, you gotta be careful with Logan because he's clingy, in a good way though. So he's like, hey, Coach Chris, what's up? Is Mia gonna be here? Like, or sometimes he just walks up to me. Is Mia gonna be here? That's good. I mean, when you bring your kids somewhere, you want them to enjoy being around the staff, enjoy being around the coaches. And my goal always, and I try to remind myself and everybody, is that these kids wait all day long. They're in school, and some of them might skip days in between, and they wait until they're gonna come over here.
And they're excited to be
so
here.
they're excited. So if they don't walk in that door and they're not excited to be here, then we need to really think, like, did they have a bad day? Something going on?
Yeah.
Is there something that we're not doing right for them to really want to be here? Especially it's been like that a few times. So, but yeah.
And that's the same in any gym. If you work in a gym, if you manage a gym, if you're a coach at a gym, that's something that you really need to pay attention to. If someone shows up late for your class, don't just shit on them immediately. Right?
Yeah, I mean, life happens. Everybody, nobody.
Happen.
We gotta remember that the world doesn't revolve around us, and there's a lot going on. So, I always try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
So there's something that we say at our gym, and I've seen it a couple of other places too, and it might be something that's pretty like common within the CrossFit space, but it should apply, I think, across the board to anybody who runs any type of facility where people show up to just try to get better every day. um, make this the best hour of their day.
Yeah.
Right.
I always try.
This should be the favorite part of their day.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You come in to do something that's for your body, and a lot of times that comes with doing something for your mind as well, like that mental health part of it.
Yep.
For these kids, they have a lot going on. Some of them have dreams and aspirations of playing professionally, and for some of them, it's just like, hey, I get to go hang out with this other friend of mine,
Yeah.
or things like that. And some of them we their highlights.
Yeah.
But that's what it should be about. And obviously, I'm pretty big, especially here on the community part of it. I get on the kids' case all the time about not saying hi and simple things like that. But I think, yeah, it should be an environment that they enjoy. When you don't do it, and this is not the place for somebody that doesn't want to be here to be.
No.
Because the work is hard.
Yeah.
And the standard is high. But yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
High standards are good. I think let's talk about that for a second. Struggles as a coach with athletes who come in because they are told they need to be here versus being here because they genuinely want to be.
They won't make it. They can't make it.
Yeah.
You can't come in here because you're forced to do it.
Yep.
Whether it's your parents, another coach.
Yep.
You cannot, and that's not even just in here. I don't think you'll make it in any real training environment unless you want to be there.
Yeah.
You personally. So parents, don't force your kids to do nothing.
No.
Don't. You're wasting your money. You're wasting kids' time.
Yep.
You're wasting our time as trainers too.
Mm-hmm.
Don't. It's just not worth it. You gotta really want to be. This is hard. It's hard, and if it was easy, a lot of parents would do it with the kids too. And I think I don't think you necessarily have that issue over there. For me, at least, and I don't think they don't really mess with you over here. But on the baseball side, like parents, be quiet. Let your kids play. Just hang out. Enjoy watching your baby that's gonna be 15, 16, 17, 20 in a couple of years. Enjoy watching them play. Just be quiet. Let them be.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like in some weightlifting competitions, maybe you'll see some parents that are like on their kid's case or something like that.
You know.
Well,
okay, so I'm not going to name any names, but I think that it does happen in the weightlifting world, but it is very rare. I don't know. I think that weightlifting is a little bit of a different sport because it's very individual and it's hard to like openly compete with another lifter during a competition where, you know, like in baseball, it's very easy for a parent to be like, okay, this kid is coming up here pitching, like, I need you to smack the shit out of this ball.
Yeah.
Right? Like, fuck it up. In weightlifting, you know, people have to wait turns, and there's so much strategy that happens with like changing attempt numbers and stuff like that. Like there's too much. It's more on the coach and less on the parent for the athlete to be very, very competitive with another lifter.
Yeah.
However, there have been, so I don't know what's going on, but we are starting at my gym. We are starting to get some high school kids that are being brought in by their parents because they want them to do CrossFit to help them be stronger and more explosive in whatever sport it is that they're affiliated with at school. So this actually just happened last week. I had mom and a dad come in with the daughter, and I walked out to talk to them and find out what, you know, like what they were feeling, right? Like, do you want to do personal training? Do you want to become a gym member? And the dad just starts talking and talking and talking and talking. And I'm listening to him talk the whole time. And I'm watching the daughter and I'm watching the mom. And they're both looking back at me. And finally, like, I basically cut the dad off. And I was like, hey.
Hi, how you doing?
What do you want?
What do you want? Yeah.
Yeah. Like looking at the kid, I'm like, what do you want to do? What are you interested in? What are your goals? And then he starts talking again. He's like, oh, well, we need her to do blah, 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 blah. And I was like, sir, it's not going to work like that. You're going to pay $250 for your kid to join my gym, and then you're going to force her to come, and then 2 months down the road,
you're going to get
she's
mad.
Gonna hate it.
Yeah.
She's going to hate it because you are the person that is making her come in here and do this. She's not coming in here because she wants to get better and put in extra work to get better at her sport.
Yeah, I mean, again, it goes back to if you don't want to do it, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, you're not going to do it. And you know, as coaches here too, right? Like that's something that I probably struggle with a little bit more than you do.
Well, I see that during the evals a lot.
Yeah.
When the kid comes in with their parents and they're like, yeah, I want him to do this and this and this. And I'm like, your son hasn't said a word yet.
Yeah.
Like, why not? And a lot of it goes into the way they are socially, too. The kids don't know how to stand up for themselves
This
anymore.
is true.
So a lot of the kids are just, mom and dad said this and that. Well, again, in sports, you have to be able to say, like, hey, I would like to do this. And obviously, as a parent, you have to have their best interest. But a lot of times, the parents, they want them to do something that maybe they aren't ready for.
Right.
And I think that's where, as a trainer or a coach, we step in and say, hey, you know what? Maybe your goals for them at the moment aren't very realistic.
Right.
And,
Too much.
And if we can do that, then if we can really pinpoint what it is that they should be doing in their journey, at that precise moment, I think the rate of success will be better as long as they want to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
I don't think there's any kid who goes here who genuinely does not want to be here.
that's because I don't allow it.
Yeah. However,
and we do that eval.
You know, there's been a couple of times where I have to threaten the big boys and be like, "Don't make me get Chris over here."
Yeah. I think that's part of dealing with the teenagers, though. The teenage
because
years.
y'all don't know how to get your shit together.
Yeah. It happens all the time. So.
You know, I think I asked Aiden's dad today if Aiden came in here having already drank a full can of Monster.
Yeah, it's like 14 years old drinking Monster, like walking in here like, bro, that's not good for you. You don't need
from
that.
That kid is crazy.
At 14, you shouldn't need any kind of energy drinks. But yeah,
fun, though. I enjoy having him here.
I think it's cool to be able to see all these different kind of kids, different backgrounds, different even cultures sometimes, and watching them all work together, especially like in the baseball sense. And then the crap that they talk to each other is crazy.
Oh my gosh.
But
they talk so much crap with each other.
Yeah, it's definitely
they're
cool.
little bullies to each other.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's part of the environment too. We want them to stand up. We don't say nothing. Hey, if your kid comes in here, he needs to stand up for himself. Like our job is simply to make sure that they don't like harm each other. Well, for the most part, like you got what you work, you need to do it or get after it as hard and we'll back you off if we need to. But we want them to go dummy pretty much.
Yeah.
If they can. Like,
well, you want them to go.
I do.
Dummy.
I do.
I'm a little bit more on the conservative.
You're more
side.
conservative, but I think that comes with, I guess, it comes with our roles in terms of like, you're gonna always. I always watch for their safety too, but I'm more like, hey, we need to throw the ball hard now.
Yeah.
Like you're holding back, and I think I don't think any of them compete at the level we want them to yet because they don't quite understand what that is yet.
Yeah.
So I think that's where we try to really push them, and if they show us that they can do it safely, like we have no doubt in putting them to push the weight. If that's the case, well, that's the focus.
Speaking of competing, what was your baseball career like? I don't think I've ever actually asked you this question.
So
tell us about it.
Okay, I played in New York City most of my life. I started playing at 11. I started pretty late. Yeah, I started pretty late because most of the kids around here are starting they're like 3 years old. They start playing. But
who's the youngest kid we have here?
Little Orloff. He's 6 or 7 right now.
Yeah.
The youngest is usually around 5 years old. But we got a little kid right now, Orlov. He's from Venezuela. Doesn't speak any English, so I gotta go back and forth with him, which is cool. And the kids have taken to him well. So, but for me, I started playing at 11, and I remember like today, my father took me. I grew up in the projects in New York City, and he took me to the back the schoolyard that was behind the project building, and he taught me and my little brother how to catch. So my brother, if I was 11, my brother was 9, and he just, hey, catch the ball, like nothing crazy, typical Dominican dad, catch the ball, why you dropping it? So I did that, and I remember really sucking the first like year, 2 years, and then right around like 12 to 13, there was a guy called Pedro. We call him P. He really took me under his wings and taught me how to play. But I was addicted to it. Like I trained harder than all the boys I know now. It was nonstop. And for me, it was a way of getting staying out of trouble. Because there was gangs around me, the drugs were around me, everything that you don't want your kids to be around was around me. So for me, baseball was baseball was the thing that kept me out of it. I say if it wasn't for baseball, who knows where I would have been? Because I seen the friends go to drugs, I seen them go to prison, and I seen some of them die too. So I think that's why I do it so passionately, because I understand what it can do for a life. So my high school unfortunately didn't have any baseball, so I just kept playing like select or wherever I would get invited. So I got invited to play everywhere because I threw the ball really hard, and I was really good. I wish I was right-handed because I would get other opportunities to play certain things.
You're lefty?
But me, yeah. You've been here almost a year. You don't know I'm left-handed.
I don't want you write things. Do you know how to write?
Yeah, my handwriting is pretty good actually. But so we at 17, I ended up finishing school in 3 years, high school, and I believe I was the first one to graduate in my family from high school.
That's awesome.
So yeah, for me that was a big thing. It was more like, hey, you gotta go to school and you gotta try to do well. And we didn't talk much about college or anything like that, but it was kind of like it was there. And I wish now that I'm an adult and now that I'm in this field, that I would have known what NCAA was or any other. I had no clue. I knew nothing about it. So my idea of getting signed or scouted was that somebody was going to see me training so hard that they wanted to find out about me. So when I went out and practiced and trained, I went hard because I thought somebody would drive by one day and be like, damn, that kid looks like he's like going, like you could tell that something was different. So I always took the level of training like super serious. And of course I had fun. We played a lot. It was nothing like today where the kids only play during tournaments or things like that. I played ball. If I was 14 and there was a 19-year-old in the field talking trash, like, yo, shut up and get in the box. Let's go. Let's me against you. Let's see who's gonna win. And a lot of times I wasn't afraid, so I would win. And there was times where I wouldn't. But so yeah.
But you weren't afraid.
No, I mean the environment I grew up in, there's no space for being afraid. You fought, you competed, or you got ate up. That was it. So, and I'm glad that most of the kids that I deal with today have no idea or will ever experience that kind of life, because it's just not the one you want to raise your kids in.
Right.
It's not the best environment. So.
It's not.
All right, so from high school, I got accepted to Liberty University. I wanted to be a pilot coming out of high school, and I just couldn't afford it. And I had no clue. I really, I believe in faith and things they go the way they're supposed to go. Maybe my journey was to train these kids, maybe that was my role. And I think I have a big impact on a lot of these kids. Maybe more than if I was a professional athlete. I don't know, because I'm not there. So, but Liberty University, now that I know, is a Division I college, and it's pretty up there in terms of like playing ball. And I'm pretty sure I would have been perfectly fine there, even if I went as a walk-on. But it didn't work. I couldn't afford it. So, I have a brother in the Dominican. His mother ended up passing away like in August. I graduated in June. And because I graduated early, I went and stood in the Dominican for 6 months with him. And I tried to play. I turned 18 in the Dominican, and I played over there for a while. I had a few guys that were like trainers over there signing kids, and he was like, "Hey, just play in college," because he knew he wasn't gonna take any money from me. And I came back, tried to work for a little bit, and ended up joining the military. So all the way to 21. At 21, I joined the military, and then I decided while I was in the service to volunteer at coaching. That's when I figured out I enjoyed this.
Mm-hmm.
And then something crazy in me was like, you know what, Chris, go play ball. We'll show the world that you could still do it no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I walked on and played college baseball, just like that. So as soon as I got out, when I was what, 25, 26 when I was getting out of the military, something like that. And right before I got out, I emailed all the schools I could think about that I might have want to go to. And there was one in New York City that wrote back to me. It was a Division III, Lehman College. And I moved my wife, my dogs, and all my stuff, and I went and played baseball for a year. So I was like, you know what? And so we're talking about like really wanting to do something and really wanting to do it in the sense of like really driving everything that you do to it. I ended up getting hurt, and I was like, yeah, I'm still playing no matter what. So I had to go from maybe being a starter and going to being a reliever because I couldn't throw. The pain was serious in my arm. And I did that season. I pitched my last game. I got in my car and came right back to Texas. But because living in New York is rough. I mean, I went back to the same projects and all of that we talk about, that I was talking about in the beginning. So yeah, and then I decided, you know what, I'm 26, 27 almost at that point. I'm gonna start training kids. I backed off of it a little bit. I don't wish I would have did it, like followed the pursuit of being professional. I think if I didn't see the impact I was having on the kids, I would probably go after being a professional baseball player a little bit more.
I think there's a lesson built in there too, right? Don't be afraid to take chances, right?
Yeah.
You took a chance by just walking onto a school team, and
I ended up
taking
becoming the
everything.
captain of that team too.
There you
Like,
go. But also, don't be afraid to fail at something either, because there's always going to be something else out there for you.
that, yeah.
Or you try again.
Or you keep going. Like
Yeah.
even in the military, I had to do basic training twice. Like, so for a lot of times for me, like I grew up in the struggle. Like for me it was like I grew up in a neighborhood, not great. My parents did the best with what they knew and what they have. I don't think that we necessarily had all the resources that I see that a lot of kids have now. And it was up to me to make something out of it. I think that at a very young age, I felt like there was more to where I was at. I don't think the military was what did it for me, but the military was a great tool to get out of the hood, to get out of that environment. And I'm grateful for it. I think everybody should do at least 2 years. But I think that it's a great stepping stone, you know. And I think my purpose in life has always been to be in baseball. And I think that my goal in life is to train and teach these kids, not baseball, but how baseball is going to relate to life. And as long as I could do that, I think we'll be okay. Because I failed a bunch in baseball. I was really good, but like again, I had to deal with a lot of adversity. I moved everything I had to go play. I was supposed to get Tommy John surgery, which is like season ending. But I was like, nah, I'm gonna pitch regardless. And then even then, it was like, nah, I'm not going to quit no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if your kid has the dreams to play professionally in D1 or whatever it is, like they're going to fail sometimes and want to quit. And that deciding whether or not you're serious about getting those goals is what's going to make the difference. Because even like with this facility, like there's been plenty of times where I'm like, man, am I crazy or not for doing this? Because like any business, it gets tough. It's rough. Or like you really have the best intentions to train as many kids as you want, and not for the money, because it's not that, it really isn't. But in terms of like really putting the best athletes out, and there'll be moments where like you've been training a kid for years and they just disappear on you.
Yeah.
And I think those hurt. Those really hurt, because if you train with your soul and your heart, when you lose a kid in terms of them just kind of dipping, it hurts.
Yeah, it's disappointing for you because
Yeah.
you feel like you didn't do enough or you did something wrong or
Yeah, I think it's like almost like if a boyfriend or a girlfriend leaves you just flat out and says nothing to you.
or if they're like, it's not you, it's me.
Yeah, like oh, we're gonna take a break or this and that. Like what? Like you, like me knowing you, you're not taking any break. But
Yep.
I think baseball. If it wasn't for baseball, I'll be in prison, dead, or on drugs.
Mm.
Period. I can't say it any better than that.
Thank God for baseball then.
For real, no, for real. I think I can't say it any clearer than that. I thank God every day that I get to influence kids and show them that they are more than what they think they are.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same thing with the adults. As a trainer, whatever it is, I think that's our superpower. You really show people and take them to the next level.
Yeah.
But
Teaching people that.
yeah. It's not even about the weights. I found throughout the years, it's all mental.
Yeah.
It's 100% like, hey, you could do this,
Mm-hmm.
and that's powerful. So
It is.
but yeah,
And it's really powerful the first time that they realize that too,
yeah,
right? Because you've been telling it to them how many different ways, just waiting for them to be like, aha, got it.
yeah.
Yep.
So
That's a cool story. I didn't know any of that about you.
yeah, I mean, no, because I try my best to. I want people to know me for where we are now, and I think that I don't feel ashamed about where I'm from or anything like that. If anything, I feel proud because it's like, hey, like I grew up in that.
Yeah.
And I'm here
And look
now,
what you were
and
able
I'm-
to do.
And I'm here now, and this is nothing. This is the beginning. Like we trying to go up, and we don't know where we're gonna end up. Honestly, I know I've been trying my best to get the right people around me, in terms of what we're trying to do with this area and all the kids around us.
And that's hard too,
Yeah.
especially in an area like this where so many people come and go. It's going to be really hard for you to find the right people that are going to be around for a long time.
Yeah.
We
For
have
those
this-
that don't know, we're in a military town.
yes,
Like we're right here. Like Fort Hood is what, 20 minutes, 20, 30 at
20,
most.
30 minutes away.
Like we could hear the bombs going off when they start training. So we're not very far.
Yes, and they've been extra loud
Yeah.
the past.
They're not playing no
like,
games.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Ugh,
So,
boo.
but yeah. All right. Any other questions you might have for me before we wrap this up?
For you? No.
Okay.
I thought about it. That was the only question I really wanted to ask.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it makes sense, especially if we haven't really touched that topic.
We haven't.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of sharing that goes on here. I don't think. I don't know. I try to be careful.
Maybe
not
we
share
need to
too
do it
much.
more though. I think it's good for us.
For us, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, look, this is my life, and in terms of like this is all I really do, and all you really do is training too.
It's true.
So we're two people that are committed to helping others get better.
We're
and
open books here, mostly.
for real. I mean, whether you like how we say it or not, that might be a different story. But I can tell you our intentions will always be right, and you're gonna hear it straight. We're not sugarcoating nothing.
And I appreciate that about you.
Yeah.
Because I have been told lots of times that I don't sugarcoat things. I mean,
People don't like to hear the truth,
no, they don't.
and
And
yeah.
I might be a lot of things, but I'm not a liar.
Yeah.
And I won't lie to you about anything. If
I mean,
you
we
suck, you
can't.
suck. I'll tell
we
you.
can't. We can't. I mean, they don't pay us to lie.
No.
We don't get paid to lie.
No.
So, that's the honest truth. So, yeah. Well, let me see. Any questions I might have for you? What was going on?
You invited me on your podcast.
Well, you beat me to it though. She took it upon herself. What was growing up for you?
Ooh.
Weren't your parents in the service or something like that?
Yeah. So, I guess I should start at the beginning. My parents met in a refugee camp in Thailand.
Okay.
So my mom was a nurse, and my dad was, I can't even remember which organization he was with, but he was one of the like foreign service aid organizations.
So he was already doing something cool.
Yeah, the ones that mainly work with like displaced people or refugees, whatever you want to call them. So they met in Thailand, dated for probably not even a year, got married in Lebanon, and then came back to Thailand, and that's where they had me. So I was born in Bangkok.
Well, you're not Thai though, right?
No, my mom's Filipino.
Okay.
My dad is from North Dakota.
Wow, what a mix, huh?
But they are true Norwegians. Yeah, so my dad's from North Dakota, my mom's Filipino, but I was born in Thailand. We moved to Arizona for my dad to finish grad school. So we lived in Glendale, Arizona for 3 years. When I was 3, my dad got a job with the Peace Corps, so we moved to Africa, and we were in Togo for 5 years. And then we left Togo, came to the States, and then my dad was working in Croatia for a really long time. So I think for four, maybe we'll say 4 years, I don't even remember. My mom and I split a lot of time between DC, so we moved to DC. So we split a lot of time between DC and Croatia where my dad was working. And I remember taking like 2 weeks off at the beginning of a certain school break and then coming back 2 weeks after the break was already over. My teachers would send like all of my homework assignments and stuff with me to finish while we were over there. So we spent quite a bit of time kind of, I guess, living like half in the States, half in Croatia, or like doing extended visits with my dad in Croatia. And then when I hit like junior high, high school, I think my dad said, all right, let's keep her stationary for a little bit. So he took a bunch of other assignments. He was in India for a really long time. And so my mom and I were in DC, and that's ultimately where I finished out high school, and then started working. And I was in catering for a really long time. I walked into a restaurant the day after high school graduation, and a friend of mine was already working there. She was like, hey, you want a job? I was like, yep.
Sure.
I want to make some money. And didn't go to college. Went the working route, and I was at that restaurant for 10 years. Worked my way up from hostess to catering manager of my own location. So when I was, how old are you when you graduate from college? 21, 22? When I was 22, 23, you know, I had my own car.
You was in the trenches already.
I was making my own money.
Yeah.
And all my friends were graduating from college.
Thinking they hot.
With their degrees, moving back into their parents' house.
Yeah.
You know, I started working when I was in high school. I think I got my first job when I was 14, but I've always had a job after that. I've always felt like I needed to be doing something and taking care of myself. So I've been doing that for forever. I never thought that I would end up in this industry. I always thought that I was gonna stay in like catering and event planning. But that industry takes a toll on you.
I mean, you're dealing with all kind of people in all kind of different industries, and food itself is a whole different animal.
That was a rough 10 years.
Yeah.
That was a rough 10 years. Yeah.
What about you? Have any siblings?
No.
So you're an only child.
I am an only child.
Oh, baby.
However, I did grow up with a lot of my cousins, so they are like my siblings. They're like siblings to me, not like just cousins. I mean, like we all all lived in the same apartment building and everything.
Yeah.
We're still very close. One of my cousins, Amanda, she's on, okay, this is very complicated. My mom is one of 11. Most of the brothers stayed in the Philippines and married Filipino women. Most of the sisters left the Philippines and married foreigners.
So like, we out of here.
Pretty much. So when I talk about the cousins that I grew up with, those are the ones that came from the sisters, right? So we're all mixed. We're all half Filipino, half white. And so those are the ones that I grew up with. So one of my cousins from the sister's side just had her first baby. So we finally have a nephew. His name is Tyler. He looks like a little mini Danny DeVito.
Babies are cool.
He's super cool. He's a really, really cool baby.
Congrats.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Cool.
No kids. I have my dog. My little doggy. I have a husband.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's me.
So there you go.
Just here.
You hear it from the source.
Teaching people how to do things and be better at
How
life.
to pick things up and put them down. But yeah, I mean, hey, we're here for you.
Yes.
And we're here for each other. I'm really grateful for me. I think she's the right person to have around your kids, especially kids. Even though you like the adults, but I think you do great with the boys.
I enjoy that.
So yeah.
That's actually, it's funny because on Monday and Wednesday, when I leave here and I go home, I think one of the first things that I say to RJ, my husband, is, "Oh my God, they're so annoying," and he'll just be like, "But you love them," and I'll be like, "Yes, I love them."
Hey, it's they become your babies, and I guess as we get older too.
Yeah.
As we get older, they only gonna look more young to us.
I know.
And they really become our babies.
I know.
But by then we'll have, but probably the ones we coaching now coaching.
Probably.
So, because I could see Cole and them doing the same thing eventually, especially Cole. Marcus not so much. But
Marcus can't even show up for stuff on time.
Oh, man, Marcus, you heard it here.
Calling you out.
You're gonna
Marcus.
hear it here, Marcus.
Calling you out.
But
Can't
yeah.
even show up on time for a workout.
Okay. Well, yeah. I don't really have anything else. I think it's been fun. I think I enjoy doing this.
This was just like the tip of the iceberg. I think we have so much more to talk about.
Now we could go on for hours if you really let us. We haven't even got into nothing crazy. We just talked about a little bit of me, a little bit of her.
Yeah.
And some of why we like to train and what we train.
Yeah.
And that's it.
So, for anybody who's watching this, if you want us to do a part 2,
yeah, let us know.
Send in some questions.
Let us know what you want to hear, what you want us to talk about, or what you don't want us to talk about. Nah, don't send us that one. Just let us know what you want. We're open books. We don't have nothing to hide over here.
No. We can talk coaching, nutrition, lifestyle, habit building.
We could talk about picking things up, putting them down.
We can talk about weightlifting. We can
Throwing
talk about baseball.
Whatever
Chris
you
could
want.
try to teach me some stuff.
Yeah. So anything you guys have. My lady, thank you so much for being part of my dream.
Thanks for having me.
And we will continue to train your athletes, and we really want to make the best athletes around. So,
Yes.
thank you guys for watching. Again, if you have any thoughts, comments, or concerns, please leave it in the message. Thank you.